Hi guys. Did she come in here and tell you guys I was a little sidetracked? Oh, she did. I don't think she did. Aw. I asked 2.0 to come in and tell you guys I was sidetracked for a minute because I was getting dinner all sorted out. So, anyways, hope he's pooping. No, not yet. Oh, she did. Oh, there you go. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, babe. Oh, all right, guys. So welcome to day 8 of the Lindsay Clancy trial. Like all we know so far is yes, she killed the kids, and yes, she had a bunch of drugs in her system, and that's it. Like nothing the state has shown a woman who wasn't in the throes of serious mental illness at this point. I mean, I was kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt here because I kind of figured, like, okay, this lady, they're gonna have some smoking gun when she's like, ha 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 ha, fuck these kids. No, nope. Nope, literally everybody says, oh, she was a good mom. She tried real hard. And she loved her kids. And she had a lot of problems. And it's just like, I don't know how you say this woman wasn't insane at this time. I don't know. Really, at this point, I not guilty for reason of insanity. Like I don't, other than like having her saying, I really want to kill these little turd monsters. There's nothing they're going to show me that shows she did it and intentionally did it. Joe Schmoes, Peter Tragos loses patience. I've lost patience with the state. All this nonsense, they're fighting to put every single thing in, and the judge is now forcing them to start stipulating the things. This whole thing is a disaster. It is a disaster, and it's such a garbage case. Yeah, this whole case is a head scratcher. Yep. And Afton's going to bring up something. After brought this up, but KLF had tipped to her, sent me something very interesting. This judge got overturned today on a case that, we're gonna take a look at this real quick and get kind of prime the pump for today for Lindsay Clancy. All right, so this is part of the Court of Appeals in Massachusetts. And it's a Commonwealth versus Latarsha Sanders. Very, very strong, waspy name. But anyways, what happened to her? Well, here's what happened. And it was before Judge William F. Sullivan. Same judge we have. So what happened here? In early 2018, the defendant stabbed to death her 2 sons, an 8-year-old Edson Marlon Brito, and a 5-year-old son, Lasan Brito. That's some originality on the names. Originality on the names, chat. Yeah. She took those kids to clarinet cast at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Damn, she was good. Yes. 500 Scotty, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hello. Like the helmet, man. Like the helmet. But here we go. Look what she did. The victims were found in separate bedrooms, swaddled in sheets and blankets, having suffered multiple horrific knife wounds. There is no doubt she committed these crimes. The sole issue was whether she lacked criminal responsibility. After a trial, the jury convicted her on 2 counts of murder in the first degree, on theories of deliberate premeditation, extreme atrocity, or cruelty. Basically, what the state is arguing here, she strangled them to death in front of each other. So what are they claiming, though? Well, the judge impeded her ability to present a fully criminal responsibility defense by excluding relevant medical records admissible under general laws, documenting post-arrest diagnoses, or the treatment of mental illness. They also argue that, things made by the prosecution were improper, but really the biggest thing here is she wants a new trial to reduce the verdicts. And they ultimately held that the exclusion of the relevant medical records relating to the diagnoses or treatment of mental illness constitutes a prejudicial error. And as a result, the defendant's entitled to a new trial. So this is important because this case, there you go, guys. The judge is going to have to acknowledge, even though the trial has started, if he uses the same logic and the same reasoning in this previous case, he is going to have to let it all in. Yeah. Oh, this is everything comes in now. It looks like it for Lindsay. Like she got woo. As Johnny Cochran said in the OJ case, this is manna from heaven. Hitting at the right time. Hitting at the right time. This is what, like, you don't normally get this. But she's got it now. And it's happening in the middle of the case, and it's to her benefit. She gets to apply it to protect herself. So she's going to be able to let stuff in. So we'll find out. We'll find out what happens, though. But this is at length, guys. This is 34 pages. We're not going through the whole thing. But it's important to see. He excluded a lot of medical records and a lot of treatment of mental illness. So she has the right to present a defense. BKS says, after being overturned, does anything happen to a judge's career? No, and I don't think we want that to, because there are times where the judge may make a ruling. And let's say, for example, it's a novel or it's an issue of first impression. They're either going to get it right or wrong. And I don't know if a judge should have to sit there with the idea of, like, if you mess this up, we're going to kick you out of your job. Part of, like, they have elections, sure, but just if another court disagrees with you, well, that sometimes that's what happens. And I would use the Destiny case or the Denham's case and Ethan Klein. Like, I think it was copyright infringement, but a judge disagreed with me. That doesn't mean I'm wrong and the judge is wrong. It's just we interpreted the facts differently, and I think the judge came to a reasonable conclusion. In this situation, if it was a reasonable conclusion, then there's only so much you can do. Does that exclude judges who make really crappy decisions? No. And we talked about it before, though. There's a bell curve. It's a bell curve as such as life. It's life. Some people say when you've got the bell curve going, you've got a bell curve and, you've got the median, and then a lot of, 50% of judges are on this side and 50% of judges are on the good side. So yeah, you could be here. You could be all the way down here and you're still a judge. You could be all the way down here. You're still a judge. That's where the government can hold people accountable. People can hold government accountable. They can recall judges. They can try to get judges removed, but it's really hard. And overall, that's something we should want, that they just aren't removed willy-nilly. Because we don't want judges being susceptible to mob justice. We don't want that to happen to them. So I don't have a problem with judges getting overturned sometimes. It's kind of like the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit got known as the Ninth Circus for a while because throughout the 90s and early 2000s, they got overturned like all the freaking time. It happens. It happens. The bell curve looks like a tidal wave in Connecticut. Yeah. Did he know about the ruling during the trial? I'm sure he learned at some point. And to be fair, some judges, they take it and it does, it becomes an issue because nobody likes being overturned. Judges don't like being told they're wrong. Even the most calm and based and like reasonable judge, to an extent, a lot of attorneys are prima donnas. And to be fair, a lot of judges out there, and I know some judges. Like I said, I'm to the point now where people I practice with who are my age are now taking the bench. It's not uncommon for a judge to be a bit of a prima donna. Like, you're out there, if you're watching me, you know. If any judges out there, they'll be honest with themselves, be like, okay, yeah, I am a bit. Some might be like, I really am. I am the primest of the prima donnas. But you run into these problems. It's judges don't like to be told they're wrong. They don't like to be seen as getting overturned. That does, they have izzat. They have izzat, just like an Indian. It hurts them. It hurts them in a sense in a courtroom. When you go, if you went in front of a judge who gets overturned all the time, you're going to be like, fuck this guy. Fuck the old man. The 11th Circuit's going to turn. 11th District will overturn him, or the 3rd District will overturn him. Something will happen to him. So it's not uncommon. But yeah, even if there's a pattern emerging, that's where, as people need to take notice, and you need to inform your populace and electorate. Hey, this judge sucks. Yes, me. Every judge is gay. Only gay judges rule against me. That's what I'm going to put in every one of my briefs at the end. Wherefore, we pray that you grant our relief requested, and any judge who rules against us is a fag. I'll throw down the gauntlet. Only gay judges disagree with me. That'd be great. That'd be great going to the Supreme Court. It's like, Justice Sotomayor, only gay Supreme Court justices rule against me. Keep that in mind, Your Honor. Oh. You have to find someone to run against that shitty judge, and that's hard in some places. Yeah. Running against a judge is a very political thing, because if you lose, it's not meant to be personal, but a lot of times it is. Oh, buddy. So Aaron is saying, when this trial started, I know Yannetti had only good things to say about his case for him. Well, keep in mind, David Yannetti is going to say, he probably does have a good opinion of this judge. But I bet this judge overall is probably pretty decent. He strikes me as pretty decent, like pretty average. Like, he's a good judge overall. Like, I think he probably is decent to deal with. It's just sometimes they fuck up, and if they're in a really bad spot and they keep digging in, and then they just kind of like they stay in that thing. And if they're wrong, it's just like anybody. You're very reluctant to dig yourself out of the hole. The judge recusing himself will have the flamer handy. Yeah. Now, yes, and Nick said some judges also have auto-brewery syndrome. Yeah. Oh, there's Clyde in here. He's just rubbing on his back, and he's like, on the ground. Oh, fuck, come on here. You want to come here, buddy? You come here, Clyde? Up. Come on, Clyde. Come on. Hey. Clyde. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on, I shook your pill bottles. Shaking that. Come on, up. There you go. Ah! We're going to get a 2 for tonight, Jax. We got the 9 o'clock show also. And he wants my dinner, but you're not having that. You can have this, buddy. No ASMR for the people? There you go. All right, buddy. I got to keep going, though, Clyde. We got to get back to the show. Okay? All right, buddy. I got to set you on the ground. All right. He dropped it. Yeah, I heard that. So, but no, ultimately for Yannetti, too, he also has to remember he's going to be in front of the judge. So he can't afford to piss in the pool. If he says, "Oh, this judge is fucking awful," that's not a good thing. So, yeah, there is some carefulness out there. There is some tactical consideration. Just think about things to think about out there, and I want you guys to consider that. After it says for $2, scritches. All right, well, guys. Anyways, let's get to the show. Talk is cheap. It's time. Go put your chef hat on, Clyde. Wah. Oh, he does not want to put his chef hat on. We got to go. It's put up, actually, along with some other stuff. So I got to go. I have to go dig it out. But we might do that here coming up one day. One day. I'll be like Phil. For every goal, Clyde will change a hat and wear a new vest. Oh, that would be so funny. That would be so funny. That would be great. That would be great. Let's see here. Where is... And you try to type it in, it's like, does not want to give you what you want here. All right, let's see if we can get some closed captioning here. Nope, no closed captioning right now, chat, so we're going to have to suffer. Sorry. At least for now, I will try to find closed captioning later and get us where we need to be on this. But for right now, we're just going to have to suffer. But thank you, Acton, for the $2. Let's skip ahead and look at this chat. 40 minutes in, and we're like already getting it done.
Court. All right, jurors enter.
Okay.
She looks very scared or concerned right now. Look at her face. I wonder what happened. Something weird happened.
Yay. All persons having anything to do before the Honorable William Sullivan, Justice of the Superior Court, now sitting for the Commonwealth. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. State of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now in session. Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, before the court today, we have the continuation of the jury trial in the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Nice to see everybody again. Thank you for being here. What I'm going to do is ask you those questions again, and then talk a little bit about today's schedule, and then we'll get right back into the Commonwealth's presentation of the evidence. And so the first question, as you probably know by now, is any member of the jury read, seen, heard, or overheard anything from any source about any aspect of this case that would affect your ability to be fair and impartial as a juror? Last question is there any other serious matter or concern bearing on your service as a juror in this case that anybody needs to bring to my attention at this time? Again, thank you for following those instructions. Today's schedule is we have a number of witnesses. We're going to start as soon as I'm done talking, and then we'll get right back into the Commonwealth's case. We'll take a break mid-morning, and then we'll continue till 1 o'clock, and then I anticipate that we'll go somewhat into the afternoon, but we'll just kind of have to see what the evidence is, if any other issues come up that I have to deal with that doesn't concern you. So with that, I'm going to turn this over at this point to the Commonwealth. Ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth calls Dr. Kimberly Springer.
Just for the record, we do the same objection. Oh, same rule.
Come on, man. Start by giving the perspective.
Good morning. The solemn say that testimony in which you shall give to the court and the jury will
All right, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
All right, Commonwealth, could I see Counselor Sylvia for a second? Just for Does that work better for everybody? Okay, all right. All right, Commonwealth.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's Kimberly Springer, Kimberley Springer.
Where do you work?
At the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Boston, Massachusetts.
And are you a medical examiner?
I am.
How long have you done that?
20 years.
Can you describe for us your educational background?
Yes, 4 years of college at Wellesley College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. 4 years of medical school at the Chicago Medical School.
She's 100% paralyzed, and he was just he's, as the British say, taking the piss. Of course she went to Wellesley College. Look at her. I'm not surprised. Went to
In North Chicago, Illinois.
Went to one of the Seven Sisters.
4 years of residency training in anatomic and clinical pathology, which is hospital-based pathology at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts, and 1 year of fellowship training in forensic pathology at the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, which is where I now work.
And throughout that 20 years at the medical examiner's office, have you conducted autopsies?
I have.
Approximately how many?
Over 2,000.
And have you testified in courts in the Commonwealth about these autopsies?
I have.
Can you explain to the jurors what is an autopsy?
Yes, an autopsy is a tool by which we examine the whole body in an effort to determine cause of death. And it's comprised of two parts: an external examination, where we look for identifying characteristics such as height and weight, evidence of medical therapy, and evidence of trauma and disease. We may take evidence as appropriate, and then we turn to the internal examination, making surgical-like incisions and examining each of the internal organs, again, looking for evidence of trauma and disease, and taking additional samples for other tests such as toxicology.
And I want to direct your attention to January 29th, 2023. Did you perform an autopsy on Callan Patrick Clancy?
I did.
And when you performed this autopsy, did you follow the procedure you just described, where you did an external examination and then an internal examination?
Yes.
And can you tell us what your initial observations were of Callan when you started the external examination?
Yes. So Callan had some therapeutic procedures in place, or therapeutic equipment in place, including a thermometer in the left nostril, a nasogastric tube in the right, an endotracheal tube down the throat, a Foley catheter draining urine, intravascular catheters in the right hand and right wrist, and an intravascular catheter in the left foot. There was some adhesive residue, possibly from other therapeutic procedures as well, on his chest. And there are additional needle marks that I saw on his body. In general, should I keep going? Or?
Well, what were your general observations?
In general, he was, we measured him at 26 inches long and 24 pounds. He had general edema, and those are the general.
So when you were talking about therapeutic things, are those things that were done by a medical provider at a hospital or some such setting?
Correct.
Okay. And what do you mean when you say he had general edema?
It means that he had his whole body had more fluid than one would expect in a person, or an 8-month-old who had not been.
I'm sure they got her doped up for this. I'm sure. Remember, chat. She's not going to be able to take certain prescriptions. They're not going to be accessible to her. But I'm sure her attorney made sure she was on something, because, yeah, this is going to be a tough one for her.
In the hospital. It's very common for someone coming from the hospital to have had been given fluids such that they have excess fluid and swelling.
Did you make observations of any injuries or trauma to Callan?
Yes.
If we could have photo 9960.
Hold on, so let me just, remember, Jerry, I just want to give you kind of revisit that instruction that I talked to you last week about. You may remember we talked about before they played that tape, all right? I just want to remind you that sometimes evidence is presented in the trial that creates emotional reactions. But as jurors who've taken an oath to follow the law, I'm instructing you, as I did last week, that you must separate any emotional reaction on your part from the informational value and the weight from the evidence. You must not be influenced in any way by the unpleasant nature of the photographs and testimony that you're going to hear this morning or throughout the whole trial as well. So you must find the facts in this case based only on the evidence. But you can't find those facts or base those facts on sympathy, anger, passion, prejudice, or pity against either side. So I appreciate that. I just kind of wanted to remind you of that. And with that, come on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So photo 9960. Is that on the screen, Doctor?
Not yet. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If you could just describe for us what we're seeing here in this photo.
So this is a photograph of Callan at the time of autopsy.
Are you shitting me? This actually happens? Like, the prosecutor actually says this? That's pathetic.
I'm showing a ruler underneath his neck, where above which you can see abrasions, and you can also see some needle marks that I mentioned from therapeutic procedures on his arm.
I'm sorry, if you could use the tool pressing the talk button there just to highlight the area you're talking about, the abrasions on the neck.
Right here on his right side of his neck, and then in the middle of the neck, and on the left side of the neck.
And if we could now have photograph 663. If you could tell us what we're seeing here in this photograph, Doctor.
This is another photograph showing a bit more closely, again, the abrasions of the neck. There's one on the front of the neck, the shorter one that's about half an inch long by 1/16 inch. For those more familiar with the metric system, a centimeter is 2.5 centimeters, about an inch. A 1/16 of an inch is about 1.5 millimeters. So this is half an inch by 1/16 inch. And then on the right here, this is about 1.5 inches by 1/16 inch.
And then showing 9952.
May I go back to that for 1 second?
Go back.
For one.
Could we go back to that photo, please? 9960. I'm sorry, 663.
I just want to point out between the ruler and the abrasions, you can see a paler line. That's a normal infant neck fold. That's not a injury.
Thank you. And 9952, please. you could just point out for us here the injuries of significance to you.
Here, sorry, I think I did that.
We could go back to the prior photo, please.
I got it.
It's the top line.
Yeah. Okay, so these again are the abrasions on the left side of his neck, and there's the one on the front of his neck. In addition, on the left side of his forehead is a 3/16 inch by 1/16 inch abrasion, and I think you can also begin to see petechial hemorrhages, which are dot-like hemorrhages.
I mean, if she's faking, she's doing a great job. I don't think she's faking. You can hear her. You can hear her kind of sobbing a little bit here and there. So, you know, guys, as much as we like to laugh and joke, I will tell you, when you're dealing with it, it's really your client. This is the business end of it. This is sausage getting made. This is the slaughterhouse floor. You know, normally you guys get to see what's in the you get to see what's on the shelf at Walmart, but this is when the hogs get slaughtered. It's rough. It's rough when you have to sit in there and deal with it.
Underneath the skin, on the face.
And what are petechial hemorrhages?
Petechial hemorrhages occur when there is rupture of the small blood vessels underneath the skin surface. And
I mean, to be fair though, there's nothing. And Mary, some of you guys are saying, well, he's tuning her out, and he's not getting good work done. There's not much work to do here. Most of her is just going to be factually stating. Mario, I think he's just trying to. I mean, he doesn't probably want to look at these, so he's like, okay, well, I'm going to look like I'm a little busy here. Also, it's kind of one of these deals where, like, think about The Patriot. Mel Gibson's got his kids in the woods and they're about to ambush the British, and he looks at his boys and he's like, remember, steady. You know, he's like, steady. That helps your client a lot, at least in my experience. You have to be, you staying cool and calm helps your client stay cool and calm sometimes. And honestly, that may help her chill the fuck out a little bit because, yeah, I'm busy lawyer and I'm doing the thing too. But if he wasn't doing that, your client feeds off it. It's like a kid, or it's like having a dog. They can feed off you. They know what's going on. So if you act amped up, they're amped up. And if she's already in a mess and then she gets amped up more, well, then she's out of control and inconsolable, and that's a problem for the jury. So there's only so much you can do here. He already knows what she's going to say. We're not he's not disagreeing with anything that she's going to talk about. I don't know what he crosses her, but I'm assuming this is a very quick case or a very quick cross ultimately. Unless she gets to determining how things happen. Michael Gelk, he's working very hard for her. Yeah. Yeah. Everett Scott says she's playing footsie. She can't feel it. Roscoe, we'll talk about that tonight, okay? The Bucky stuff. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Let's see. Somebody asked a question. Michael Gelke says, good to see you, man, by the way. Hope you're doing well. These cases can be rough. I remember the faces of my cyber forensics instructors who used to do CSAM cases. Like I've told you before, those, I mean, regardless of who you are and which side of it, they corrode your soul a little bit when you have to do the child pornography stuff. It corrodes your soul just a little bit. You know, hope you get some time in between, you can kind of build it back up. But even then, it's like, yeah, you see some shit. And it stays with you. It stays with you. So
they are from an overpressure of the small blood vessels such as capillaries or venules, and blood escapes out and makes a dot-like hemorrhage.
We could have photo 9954. If you could explain for us what we're seeing in this photograph, please.
In this photograph is Callan's right side, also showing the back of his neck. So that abrasion that could be seen in the first photo, showing the front of his neck, that abrasion continues along about 3 inches in all toward the right posterior back of the neck.
And if we could have photo 9955, please. Is this a close-up photograph of what you just described?
Yes, I can show that right here.
Thank you. Could we have photo 636, please? And if you could describe for us what you see here in this photo, Doctor.
First the abrasion is in poor focus, but it's in the picture on the left side of the photograph, and then the most in the photograph, one can see those petechial hemorrhages that are along the cheek, on the eyelid, all of those.
We can have photo 654, please. Can you describe what we're seeing in this photograph, Doctor?
Yes, this is abrasion near the hairline on the right side of the forehead, and that is up here. That is about 3/8 by 1/8 inch.
And then photo 656, please. Can you describe what we're seeing in this photo here, Doctor?
This is looking at the top of Callan's head, and on the top right part of his head, towards the front, near the forehead, is a 1/8 by 1/16 inch abrasion.
And then photo 657, please. If you can describe what we're seeing here, Doctor.
This is the abrasion on the left side of his forehead where the ruler is time. In addition, the petechiae are also in pretty good focus on this.
And then photograph 9916. If you can describe for us what we're seeing in this photograph, please.
So these are some of the, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, there's a intravascular catheter in the right groin. This is Callan before we took off his medical therapy, and it shows some of the needle marks that he had. So on this is his right lower extremity. This is a look of an intraosseous catheter attempt with a central puncture mark and a round abrasion around it. And then here's the right groin line and the left foot line.
And if we could have photograph 9917. Are we seeing the same thing here on the left leg, those same IO attempt marks?
Exactly, yes.
Thank you. Doctor, are you able to date the wounds to the head, the abrasions and marks on the head? Are you able to say when those got there or how long they'd been there?
I can't precisely, but they have signs of healing in the form of scabbing.
And would that indicate that they weren't fresh wounds that happened the day you saw him or the day prior?
Correct.
In terms of the marks around Callan's neck and the petechiae around his eyes and face, did that give you?
Petechiae. Petechiae. You uncultured swine, petechiae.
An indication here of the mechanism of death for Callan?
Yes.
And how so?
It is consistent with a ligature strangulation, given that the abrasions are linear around his neck and there are petechial hemorrhages above those lines of abrasion.
And how is it that when someone is strangled with a ligature, that causes petechiae in the face and eyes?
So what happens is that the blood vessels that supply blood to the neck are compressed. And so there are jugular veins, which are a lower pressure system, and carotid arteries, which are a somewhat higher pressure system. And so as the vessels are compressed.
Yeah, she's probably never been in God's country, Northeast Ohio, in the middle of God's country, and has never had the chance to have a buffet at Ponderosa. She hasn't. She never had the chance to slather Ponderosa spicy wings and nacho cheese. No, sir. No, sir. We live in two different Americas.
If there is a backup of blood in the head, there can be an increased pressure in those small blood vessels that I mentioned, and they can rupture, causing the petechiae.
But basically, is it similar to a balloon filling up, but it's not air, it's blood and pressure in the face?
Yes.
And so when that pressure gets too great, is it that the capillaries are basically bursting and causing those little red marks?
Yeah, chat. The petechial hemorrhages, we've heard them before, the 8-ball hemorrhages. It's where the eyes, turn blood red because all the pressure causes the capillaries in your eyes to burst and you look like a monster. Other capillaries will explode from the pressure, and when you're strangling someone, that'll happen. So that's very normal, very common. Don't mean to touch on it too much, but we are going to touch on it. So, yeah.
Yes, most texts say capillaries, some say venules, the small blood vessels.
And how is it that this process, the strangulation by ligature, causes death physically? How does it physically happen?
So the blockage of blood, either both to and from the head or just from the head, will cause a lack of oxygen to arrive at the brain. And there can be an element of airway compression as well, such that the lungs can't oxygenate properly. So that lack of oxygen is what causes the brain to die and the organs to fail.
And based on your examination of Callan, did you come to a determination based on your training and experience to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause of his death?
Yes.
And what was that?
Complications of mechanical asphyxia.
And why is it complications of mechanical asphyxia instead of just the asphyxia itself?
Because he was resuscitated, and so his heart began to beat again. So from the 24th to the 27th, there was a continuation of support of his organs to in the hospital. And so if he had a stopped heart at the scene, and in that case, I would have just said mechanical asphyxia. But since there was a 3-day hospital stay, I said complications of mechanical asphyxia.
So the word complications doesn't mean that something happened at the hospital to cause his death. It's just that the strangulation caused his death, but he didn't die for a few days.
Correct.
Commonwealth would move to submit the autopsy photos as the next exhibit.
Same objection. So they may be admitted.
Commonwealth would move to submit the death certificate.
Now he's objecting because he's saying the photos are prejudicial, but that's like one of the things you just say it, but they're coming in no matter what.
Certificate of Callan Patrick Clancy as the next exhibit.
That may be admitted.
I have nothing further.
Counsel?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You may step down, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, Counsel, can I see just briefly?
It's not a surprise. I mean, remember, guys, there's nothing to be gained from cross-examining this person. All she can say is how they died, not why. So we're not denying how the kids died.
Okay.
And I will say the judge is doing a very good job at noticing she's fucking losing her shit over there. I like how the one bailiff has to like pull the brake on her. It's like, is she not allowed to wheel herself anywhere?
All right, this court will be in recess.
I couldn't hear him. I was waiting for the prosecutor to say something, but it doesn't sound like they did. So anyway, so they take a good, 20-minute break. And here we go. We're back. Yeah, it's a realization of what she's done. Yes. Yes. I mean, that is really the thing here. So, is this where she says the shut up thing? Our report says the jury was crying. Oh, there's, I've never cried in court, but like there's times where you see pictures or you hear a witness saying something. You're just like, especially like if it's kids, you're just like, you got a face like a fucking statue, but still you're like, as it's happening. So, not surprised. I mean, a bunch of normies who don't deal with this, like, I don't blame them for crying. This is rough shit. Dead little kids. Never a good thing. It's never an easy thing. Never an easy thing. Kia Path, how you doing, man? Says, please don't Phil talk. Just came from over there. Please, no bully. Well, hold on. We also have operating smoke detectors in this house, so. Blueberry says, not too late to pick up Bonbon. We're about 15 hours away from Bonbon, so yes, a little late. 1 hour, 28 minutes. Okay, for some reason this is all froze up. I don't know what happened. Oh, well, here we go, too, on top of that. We got closed captioning now. Okay. And we'll get back to where we were here, chat. Hold on.
All right, this court will be in recess.
Here we go.
All parties are present, including the defendant, excluding the jury.
All right, counsel, ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Here we go, guys. And real quick, before we get too far, I want to get to the one thing here. Crystal for 5 subs. Let's fucking go tonight, chat. Big freaking support. Getting the night rolling hard. We got a Clyde Woo to get the night going. Thank you, Crystal. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope things are going well. Hope you guys are having a nice night. And, you know, it's already Friday for you guys out there. So, yeah, thank you for being here. Julie says, I'm on an SNRI, and I can tell you that I am dead inside. Zero cries. I'm still funny, though, but that shit just shuts off your emotions for the most part. Good and bad. Yeah, I've heard people say that before, too. I've heard people say you're saying it's freezing. Well, how cold is it? It's South Africa. Like, how cold does it actually get? I mean, like, yeah, I get if it's like 100 in the summer and it's like 60, you're freezing, but like, it's not like you guys are getting snow. Anyways, let's keep going.
All right, jurors enter. This court's now in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the defendant and including the 18 jurors.
All right, thank you, everyone. So we're going to now return to the Commonwealth case. Attorney Sprague.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth House Dr. Lindsay Rochard.
Come on. You stop right there. Raise your right hand to the front.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony in the issue will Yes, you may have a seat.
Just watch your step, please.
Hi, good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Attorney Sprague.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Lindsay Rochard, LINDSAY ROSSHIRT.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a pediatrician.
Where do you work?
I work at Quincy Pediatrics,
Back in 2023, where did you work?
South Shore Medical Center.
And how long did you work there at that point?
In 2023, I think I had been there for about 7 years.
And could you just briefly describe for us your educational and training background that enables you to be a pediatrician?
Yes, I completed medical school at UConn and then did my pediatrics residency at Mass General.
And when you were working at the South Shore practice in 2023, were you assigned as a pediatrician for the Clancy family?
Yes.
And how long had you been their pediatrician?
I'm sorry, how long had can you repeat that question?
How long had you been the family pediatrician for the Clancys?
I believe I started seeing them around 2019.
And in the practice that you were in at that time, was it just yourself or were there other doctors and nurse practitioners and staff that would treat and see patients?
It was a somewhat large group.
And so would you always be the one treating the Clancy children, or would some of your associates sometimes see the children?
I did all the checkups, but if there was a sickness and I wasn't there that day, they would be seen by another provider.
And by checkup, are you referring to a physical or well visit?
Yes.
And then if, for example, one of the children were ill and the family called to make an appointment, they would see who's available?
Yes, they would always check my schedule first, but often have to see someone else.
And would you have access to their records as their lead pediatrician to review if they came in for a sick visit or something like that to keep yourself updated?
Yeah, often at the time of the checkup is when we will go back and see what visits they've had since the last time we saw them.
This time we'd move to submit the pediatric records from South Shore Medical Center for Cora, Dawson, and Clancy.
Any objections?
Sprague, wait a minute.
That may be admitted.
Thank you. 260. if we could focus for a moment on Callan Clancy. He was born in May of 2022, correct?
That sounds right. Yes.
And you were his pediatrician from the time he was born?
Yes.
While you were his pediatrician, did his mother, Lindsay Clancy, ever talk to you about Callan having issues taking a bottle?
Not that I can remember.
Was there anything out of the ordinary health-wise with Callan?
No.
Was there any issues?
This is the show that these kids were fine. Mom never said there were problems with the kids. Mom never, she didn't sense any problems because mom brought the kids to all the doctor's appointments so she could say, Mom seemed fine to me.
Were there any issues with him meeting his milestones?
No.
What about Dawson Clancy? Did he have any health issues or concerns that you were aware of?
If I recall correctly from the notes, I think just a peanut allergy, if I remember, but otherwise he was healthy.
And Cora Clancy, did she have any medical issues?
I think asthma, that was pretty well controlled, but she was also healthy.
Now, in your role as a pediatrician, are you aware of postpartum issues, and are there certain things that you look for in new moms when you're treating babies?
Yes, we're certainly aware of it, and we try to look for any kind of
What do you do in terms of treatment or care when you see those things?
Yes, so since we're obviously caring for the child, we are not really able to diagnose or manage anything for the mom, but we do try to connect her with resources, whether Massachusetts has some postpartum resources, or often we'll refer to have her try to contact her OB.
When you were interacting with Lindsay Clancy, when you were treating her 3 children, did you ever see the need to refer her for any of those services?
No.
And did you ever see any of those visible signs that you talked about, the flat affect or anything like that when you were interacting with her?
I don't remember anything like that, no.
I want to ask you about some of the things that are in the medical record that the jurors will see, so that you can just kind of explain what they'll be looking at. Showing you a record here from January 18th, 2023. The issues with the brightness, I'll just bring it to you. You just look that over, and is that consistent with the medical records from your practice?
Yes.
And so, for example, with this visit, Callan Clancy, 7-month-old male, here with mom for bilateral ear pulling and fussiness. So is that typical in the medical records where you'll document the patient being seen, the age, who they're there with, and what the issue is?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you get a history? Say when a kid comes in and they're sick, how do you get the history of their symptoms and what's going on with them?
So we usually do a brief review in the chart just to know what anything on their so-called problem list for medical conditions, and then in the room we ask the parent the story. In pediatrics, usually we have to rely on a guardian,
especially when it's like a 7-month-old who can't speak for themselves. So it would be whichever parent or person is there giving you their concerns and the symptoms and communicating with what's going on.
Yes.
And if there were any issues with communicating with the parent present, would that be documented in the medical records?
Yes.
And you saw Cora Clancy on January 24th, 2023 for a physical, correct?
Yes.
And as you stated earlier, prior to seeing her for the physical, did you look over her chart to see if she had been in recently with any illnesses or anything like that?
Yes, I would have done that.
And so would you have seen this note when her mother brought her in on December 27th, 2022, with some vomiting and sore throat?
Yes.
And again, if there had been concerns at that appointment, they would have been noted in the record?
Yes.
And then as the pediatrician, if you'd seen some concerns, would you have addressed them with the parent?
Yes.
And that didn't happen on January 24th, correct?
Correct.
And speaking specifically to January 24th, 2023, that was Cora's 5-year physical, is that right?
Yes.
And sometimes in the record it's called a well visit?
Yes.
And what were your observations of Cora that day?
As far as I can recall, it was a very normal visit. Cora seemed to be behaving normally. No kid's happy to be there for a checkup, but I didn't notice anything out of the norm. She seemed perfectly well behaved, and mom seemed appropriate as well.
Mom seemed appropriate?
Yes.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary about Lindsay Clancy's demeanor or behavior or interaction with you?
No.
Was she able to give you a history of how Cora was doing and what milestones she was meeting?
Yes.
Was she able to answer your questions?
Yes.
Did you have any trouble understanding her at any point?
No.
Did she seem to have any trouble understanding you?
No.
Did she have, visible tears or a flat affect or anything like that?
No.
Did you have a discussion with Lindsay Clancy about Cora having some stomach aches?
Yes.
And what was your evaluation of that and your recommendation?
So we talked about the belly pain she was having. From what I could tell, I thought constipation might be possible. It's something we see a lot in kids. So I had suggested we try Miralax, which is a common stool softener we use, and wanted her to see me within 2 weeks if Cora wasn't feeling better.
Okay. And when you recommended the Miralax, was Lindsay Clancy receptive to that?
Yes, I believe so.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Attorney Reddington.
Morning.
Good morning.
What's the time frame that you dealt with the Clancy children? Because you took care of all three of them, right?
All three,
Right.
yeah. Cora, I believe, was around 9 months old. So I want to say that I saw them from about 2019 until 2013.
And when you would see the children, who would bring the children to see you for the checkups? Was it Lindsay, or was it Lindsay and Patrick? Or was it...
I think that Lindsay and Patrick came together for one of Cora's checkups, but as far as I can remember, every other visit was always Lindsay.
And being an experienced pediatrician and being very protective of your patients, little kids, you're always looking to see if there's anything out of the ordinary, bruising, anything indicative of any type of psychiatric problems they may have, stunted growth or anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're always on the lookout for anything else, even if it's not mentioned to you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice anything like that on the Clancy kids?
No.
Did they seem healthy?
Yes.
Did they seem happy?
Yes.
And in all the times that you would see Lindsay with the kids at your office, did she appear to be a doting or concerned mother for the children?
Yes, she did.
One of the questions that the DA had asked you is whether or not you're familiar with postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, things of that nature. Would you agree with me, in your experience, extensive as it is, that a person can be suffering from postpartum depression and or postpartum psychosis and still POC?
I'm not sure I have enough expertise to explain to answer that well.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was Lindsay the type of person, to your observation and your treatment of her, that she was kind of like, was she like a complainer? Would she complain to you about the kids being a pain in the neck and that she was aggravated with the children or anything like that?
Not that I remember, no.
In all of the times that you had seen her, let's focus, say, on the year of 2022 up through 2023, January 24th, when you saw the children, I'm sorry, Cora, I believe it was, last. Counsel had asked you whether or not you made any observations that you would have noted if she appeared to be suffering from any symptomology of postpartum. Do you recall her asking you that?
Yes.
Right. And in your treatment of the children and in your observations of Lindsay, did you know, or did she indicate to you, or did Patrick indicate to you, or anybody indicate to you, that in October of 2022, she was seeing a psychiatrist?
No.
Do you know Dr. Tufts?
No.
Did you know that after seeing Dr. Tufts that she was placed on a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI, Zoloft?
No, I didn't know that.
And again, you're the pediatrician. It's not your job to pry. I mean, if you see something, you would make note of it and try to help them out. But I mean, if they don't tell you, you don't know, right? Did you know, fair to say that you didn't know that she was then seeing a Dr. Paul, and then Paul left the practice and nurse practitioner Gelada?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Do you know them?
No.
The only reason why I ask if you know them is that South Shore Medical Center, is that affiliated with South Shore Hospital?
I believe it was already owned by the hospital at that time.
Okay. Latasha Dukes, nothing about her?
No.
Any medications? Did you know about her being on any medications?
No, I didn't.
She didn't complain to you and say that she had insomnia and that she was unable to sleep or having difficulty like that?
Not that I can remember.
Did you know that she called the suicide hotline twice towards the end of December?
Protection.
Overall.
I did not know that.
Okay. Did you know that she had been to Mass General Hospital and then ultimately on New Year's?
I think somebody found out about their court ruling and they had to start allowing stuff in, like mental health issues and stuff. I think this is all very revealing. All very revealing. All very revealing.
Of 2022 into 2023, self-admitted to McLean Mental Institution?
I didn't know that.
So when you saw her on January 24th, you did not know that she had been to McLean Hospital and had been on medications or anything, right?
That's correct.
Because again, she wasn't a complainer.
Correct.
She was a hell of a mother, wasn't she?
I always thought she was a good mom.
Thank you.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Oh,
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
oh, I always thought she was a good mom. Oh, I don't know. There's no way this witness probably interviewed with him. But chat, he just we need to go back to that. We need to go back to that. You couldn't have. Here, hold on.
24th, you did not know that she had been to McLean Hospital and had been on medications or anything, right?
That's correct.
Because again, she wasn't a complainer.
Correct.
She was a hell of a mother, wasn't she?
I always thought she was a good mom.
Thank you.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
I mean, guys. Oh, I don't know how much that's almost like out of a movie. He's just laying it all out, and then all of a sudden she's like, I always thought she was a good mom. What more can you ask for out of a witness? And to end it like that, and then the state just leaving it out there to hang out there? Whoo. Oh, that is. I mean, are we still sure she did it? Because I'm not. Every time a witness gets up there, I'm less and less convinced. And I'm more and more firmly in the camp of this being a woman who is criminally insane. I can't say anything there. I mean, like, wow. Why are they prosecuting this? I don't know. So, but Pretty Mama Bear, even the doctor knows that's not, she doesn't want to say that because that would be really bad. And if the prosecutor got up there and did, well, actually tell she was a good mom till she murdered her kids, at least they're smart enough and they can read social cues enough to know they shouldn't do that. Because, oh God, I could see them trying that next time. Like, oof. Yeah, this is and the thing is, these witnesses would have 100% talked with the prosecution before. So they should have prepped these witnesses. And they should have known she was going to be very simple. Like, I don't understand how they didn't prep this case better. It seems like they didn't really prep it. Kansaki is saying, what would you have the state do to counter that statement? I'm not sure. But the idea that they wouldn't have talked to her to know she was going to say that at some point is a little, they were caught off guard, it sounds like. And I don't know why they weren't prepared for that. So. I think the state thinks they're doing well. Well, generally speaking, they are. They are doing well. They've got 3 dead kids. Like the scale is firmly on tip to their side right now. James Reed says, what court ruling allows stuff in? We talked about this at the beginning, but there was a court case this judge had decided that went up on an appeal to the Massachusetts Court of Appeals, and he got overturned for not allowing evidence in. So I think he is allowing in a lot more stuff that he was precluding in a previous case that was very similar, where a mom had murdered her children and claimed insanity. So let's see here. What Jessica Vanessa is saying, what just happened? When the kid's pediatrician says she was a good mom, I mean, that just reinforces what the defense is trying to say. It's a good person who had a mental health issue that was not being properly diagnosed. And, that she is not guilty by reason of insanity. Like, this is that doctor just made it so much easier, because unlike the other doctors who encountered Lindsay at her worst moment, this doctor encountered Lindsay for years on end, taking care of her kids. So it's just further awesomeness that would help this here. Detroit DJ says a plea deal would have prevented that statement. Probably. So, She snapped. It can easily happen. It can happen. 100%. 100%. I mean, Jessica's saying, I believe she snapped. Yeah, I can see that. Dry Bulks. Yeah, I'd agree. There's only one lawyer in this courtroom right now, and he's doing the work. So here we go. And yeah, everything is fine over here. It says everything. My arm worked fine until it broke. Yeah, my knee worked fine until it broke. Your brain can work fine until it breaks too. So, oh, this is the testimony that pissed off Peter. Well, like I said, guys, Peter Tragos, lawyer, he's a guy out there running a big personal injury firm out there in Clearwater, Florida. Tragos, Sartelis, and Tragos. If you're out that way and you need personal injury help, check him out. Yeah, I can understand. And yeah, this is, I'm sure he focused on it too. They would have known she was going to say this. So why were they? It seems like they were not prepared at all. And if they knew this was going to happen, and apparently what you guys are telling me, more and more testimony is going to be damaging, they would have known that from all these witnesses. So I don't know why they weren't ready for this. So we'll see, though. We will see. Let's keep going, though.
We'll call Susan Freyon.
Just up, please.
Morning.
Morning.
Hi. I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up and speak into that microphone. All right. Can we spread, please?
Thank you. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Susan Freone, SUSAN,
And your date of birth?
11/26/82.
Where do you work?
Learning Sprouts,
And how long have you been working at Learning Sprouts?
almost 6 years.
What is Learning Sprouts?
Preschool, daycare.
What age range of kids attend Learning Sprouts?
15 months to about 5 years.
And what age range do you teach?
The about 3-year-olds to 4-year-olds.
And back in January of 2023, what age range were you focused on teaching?
3-year-old, 4-year-olds.
Was Dawson Clancy in your classroom?
Yes.
When did he start in your classroom?
September of 22.
And did you know Cora Clancy as well?
Yes.
How did you know Cora?
Most of the teachers help out in all the classrooms, so we get to know all the children.
And did you teach Dawson from September of 2022 until you went on maternity leave later on in 2022?
Yes.
Do you remember what month that was in that you went on leave?
November.
Prior to going on leave, so from September to November of 2022, were there any issues with Dawson?
He started having harder drop-offs around mid-October, I would say.
Is that typical for that age, or is that something unusual?
Sometimes, yes. It was a little not typical for Dawson.
So prior to that, he was fine at drop-offs, and then sometime in October, drop-offs became a little harder for him?
Yes.
And did that resolve over time?
Sometimes he would have better drop-offs, other times. But then I went on leave, so.
And after you went on leave, sometime after Thanksgiving of 2022, did you see Lindsay Clancy, Dawson's mother?
Don't really remember. I think I did.
Do you recall having a conversation with Lindsay where she asked you how your baby was and how you were doing?
Yes, we did have a conversation at some point because I was still bringing my oldest daughter to school every day.
Okay. And so you had your child in November, and then this conversation is sometime either around or after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
And when you had this conversation and interaction with Lindsay Clancy, was that at the school?
Yes.
And how was her demeanor?
Fine.
Was it any different than any other time you had seen her?
No.
Did she appear to understand you?
Yes.
Did you have any trouble understanding her?
No.
Did you have any concerns about her at that time?
No.
Was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
And you're a mandated reporter, correct?
Yes.
So if you had seen anything about Dawson's behavior or about the parents' behavior at any point that caused you concern, you would have had to report that, correct?
Yes.
And at no time did you make any reports about the family or the children or the parents?
No.
when you had that conversation with Lindsay Clancy sometime in November of 2022, did she ever say anything about insomnia or not feeling well or being depressed or anything like that?
No.
Thank you.
Cross.
Morning.
So how long did you, in your capacity as a teacher at Learning Sprouts, know the Clancys?
I started at Learning Sprouts in November of 2020, and Cora was in preschool at the time.
Okay. So you obviously saw the kids on a fairly regular basis.
Yes.
And forgive me, what is a drop-off? What does that mean? I'm sorry.
When the parents dropped the children off at school.
Okay. And when District Attorney asked you were there difficult drop-offs, what does that mean?
I mean, to be fair, do you really want to come in and talk about the kids you were watching who are now dead? I'm sure she doesn't want to be here. She probably hates Lindsay Clancy and thinks she's evil.
Sometimes when parents drop the children off, they'll be a little clingy, or they cry. Excuse me, or they cry.
And that would be the child would cry, maybe the
Yes.
parent either. I don't know, but
Sometimes.
so did they have difficult drop-offs on occasion? I guess the doctor
Yes.
would cry.
Yes.
How would Lindsay react? Was she okay? Did she seem concerned as a parent?
I wasn't seeing as much of Lindsay. I was seeing more of Patrick.
Okay. And Dawson appeared to be healthy and happy and engaged,
Yes.
as well as Cora.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Please sit down. Thank you.
Commonwealth would call Susan Bertolo as a sex witness.
And real quick, guys, Coffee Cat for $10 says, please tell Clyde he's a good boy. Clyde. Oh, there you are, Bubber. You're such a good boy. You're a good boy, buddy. Here. See, Brody's not here right now, so it's just you and me, bub. He's just hanging out in front of my door. He had a very traumatic day. We had a really nasty thunderstorm kind of out of nowhere. Here you go, Bubberkin. There you go. Brody. Anyway. But yes, thank you. And I just told him, he's such a good boy. Right here. Pet, 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 pet. We'll have more Clyde tonight in the 9:30 show, guys. But let's keep going. But thank you for the $10. Then, real quick, there's another comment here. Aaron says, most of the guys in chat think she's evil. The women feel different. It'll probably be a hung jury. You talking about in this chat or another chat? Because I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Let's go. But let's go.
Morning, ma'am. Stop right there. Where's your answer questions?
Good morning.
Mr. Please. Why don't you stop, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, can I ask you to speak into that microphone?
Okay.
All right, and keep your voice up so we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, come on.
Thank you. Good morning. Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Susan Bertolo.
And if you could just speak as loud as you can into that microphone, okay?
Yep.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
Bertolo.
And what city or town do you live in?
Plymouth, Massachusetts.
And where do you work?
Leaping Frogs Preschool.
Prior to working at Leaping Frogs, did you work at another preschool?
Yes.
Where was that?
Learning Sprouts in Duxbury.
And how long had you been with Learning Sprouts?
4 years.
Did you teach a particular age group at that preschool?
Yes, I taught the older preschool group.
Okay. And at Learning Sprouts, are the classes kind of divided up in some way?
They're divided by age, with toddlers, younger preschool, older preschool.
And is there a particular label to the rooms that they're in? Are they referred to in a particular way?
Yes, we were sunflowers.
So your group, the 3 to 5 year olds, is the Sunflower group.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about how the day is broken up for kids in the Sunflower group?
Sure. So some children came in early at 8, and then the rest of the kids came in at 9:15, and then some were half day and some were full day.
And as far as, excuse me, your role with the kids in the Sunflower room, you primarily interacted with them in the mornings, correct?
Correct.
And when the kids get dropped off, is it fair to say the bulk of the kids get dropped off around 9?
Yes.
And does that happen kind of like in a wave where parents drop off and they're kind of taken into the room as a group?
Yes. So the way our classroom was set up, we met them. They were dropped off to us at the door, and then we brought them into our classroom.
And they stayed with you in that classroom throughout the morning, correct?
Yes.
And the kids who stay for the afternoon, did they stay with you in the sunflower room or did they go someplace else?
No, they did not stay with us. We closed up our room, and our kids, majority of our kids, we had a couple went over to the sweet pea room, which was across the hall.
And so are you familiar with Cora Clancy, or were you familiar with Cora?
Yes.
And was she in the sunflower room with you?
Yes, she was.
Drawing your attention to September of 2022, what was her schedule, if you can recall?
I believe she was scheduled. I don't remember the days. I think she came 3 days.
Okay, and for the 3 days that she came, do you remember if she was just in the morning group, or were there any days that she eventually did an afternoon?
So in the beginning of the year, she was 3 days and then went full day. And then towards the end of her time in our room, she did one afternoon, I believe. No, I'm sorry, one half day.
Okay, so fair to say you then interacted with her at least 3 days.
Yes.
In the morning, and then she went to the sweet pea room in the afternoon?
Yes.
And who was the teacher in the sweet pea room?
Stephanie.
Would you be present when Cora was dropped off in the morning?
Myself or my coworker, Karen. We took turns.
Fair to say there were always the two of you assigned to one room with a number of kids in the class?
Correct.
Now, as far as drop-offs for Cora, did you have the opportunity to interact with parents at drop-off?
Briefly.
And for Cora, who used to drop her off?
Both parents dropped off, Pat and Lindsay.
Did you see one parent more than the other?
I recall seeing Pat more, but we took turns. So we didn't really ask each other who dropped off.
When you say we took turns, you mean yourself and Karen?
Karen, correct.
Now, with the limited interaction at drop-off, did you have opportunities to interact in other ways with parents?
Yes.
And how did you interact with parents in other ways?
Email, or typically our class dojo, which is an app for the class.
And that's something that can be done on the phone or a computer?
Correct.
And were the Clancys, meaning Patrick and Lindsay, fairly active or responsive to the dojo app?
Yes.
And do you know, or do you recall, who would be more responsive?
Lindsay.
How was Cora as a preschool student?
Amazing. She was wonderful.
Was she, in your opinion, ready for kindergarten?
Yes.
I'm going to draw your attention to January 23rd of 2023. Do you remember Cora coming that day?
Yep.
And do you recall who dropped her off?
I do not.
Did you notice anything different about Cora that day?
Yes.
And what was different?
She needed to use the bathroom several times more than she normally would.
And is there a reason why that kind of stood out to you, that she used the bathroom more than often?
Yes, because our classroom did not have a bathroom in it. So we would go down at scheduled times before snack or lunch. And if a child needed to go, one of us would take that child. And that particular day, she went several times extra.
And so between you and Karen, you were kind of taking her more often to the bathroom. Was she complaining of any belly pain or any other issues?
She didn't complain.
But the fact that she asked to use the bathroom was of note to you?
Yes.
And when Cora transitioned that afternoon to go to the sweet pea room with Stephanie, did you pass along those observations to the afternoon teacher?
Yes, I did, because that was something that you would want a parent to know. It was unusual.
And during that morning group, you didn't feel it was necessary to reach out to either Patrick or Lindsay to report that, did you?
No.
Okay. But you reported it to Stephanie to pass along for the afternoon?
Correct.
And on that particular afternoon, were you at Learning Sprouts during pickup time?
Yes, I was.
And that wasn't always the case, was it?
Not every day, but I often would help out in the toddler room if they needed me to stay. And that is what I had done that afternoon.
So on that particular afternoon at pickup time, did you have the occasion to see Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And did you have an opportunity to speak with her?
Yep, we spoke quickly, and I just was letting her know. And she did already know, but we just spoke quickly that she had gone a few times.
So you were letting her know about Cora going to the bathroom?
Correct.
And how did she respond when you told her that?
She said, I don't remember exactly the words, but basically that she wasn't glad that she wasn't feeling well, but she already had a doctor's appointment the next day so that she would let them know.
And that interaction was fairly brief, correct?
Correct.
But appropriate?
Yeah.
And they left that day? Did you notice anything different about Lindsay Clancy after you told her that, or in that brief interaction, than any of your other interactions with her?
No.
And you are a mandated reporter at the preschool?
Correct.
So if a child were to come in with any concerning marks or bruises, or was saying something about things that were happening in the household, you would be required to report those to the Department of Children and Families?
Yes.
Any concerns or reports regarding the Clancy family at all during the time that you were Cora's teacher?
Never.
And do you recall if Cora ever mentioned to you during class, during the time that you were teaching in the morning classes, a time when her mom was in the hospital?
Yes.
And what do you recall about that?
Just that she missed her mom, and she was vocal about that.
Do you remember about when that was, that she said something about her mom being in the hospital?
It was I can't remember if it was in December or January. I just remember that it was said.
But fair to say it was closer in time to the last time you saw her as opposed to the beginning of the school year?
Yes.
Just to briefly go back to Cora's schedule, I know you say you can't remember exactly which day she came, but by January of 2023, Cora was coming for 3 full days and 1 half day, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Reddington.
No questions, thank you.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Once again, there was nothing devastating from this witness to Lindsay Clancy. This wasn't a very good witness for the state either, though. Yeah, I think you guys are right. It looks like she had issues every time of going back to work. Which sounds like she's just a complete nut job if that was like every time she's like, I can't go back. It's like, you're not going back to fucking prison. Although somebody might call the Cube Farmer prison. Is there really any justice in the situation? No. I mean, nobody really wins. This family's destroyed. These kids are dead. Like, no, nobody. The justice system doesn't really offer you justice. Does it offer you some peace of mind? Maybe sometimes, but that's about it. That is the sad part. That is the sad part. Yes, most people with postpartum depression, do not murder their children. That is correct. They get through it. Yes, tons of small children. Yeah, there are all kinds of problems here. So, no reason for the state to call this person. Yeah, it didn't really hurt Lindsay at all. This was a non-helpful witness. No. Well, let's see.
The Commonwealth would call Stephanie Williams as its next witness, please.
Come on. I'd like you to raise your right hand for the record, please.
Good morning. Just on to testimony the evidence you shall take to the court. Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you, ma'am. You may have a seat.
Just go.
Hey, good morning. I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone. Keep your voice up. Pull that down a little bit for you. That's it. All right, counsel.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Stephanie Williams.
And Williams, that's just common spelling?
Yes.
What city or town do you live in?
I live in Sagamore Beach.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a pre-K teacher.
And where do you work?
At Learning Sprouts Children's Center.
And where is that located?
In Duxbury.
And how long have you worked for Learning Sprouts?
About 6.5 years.
What age group do you teach?
I generally teach the pre-K children, the 4-year-olds that are going to be turning 5 and going to kindergarten.
And at the Learning Sprouts preschool, fair to say that the different rooms are given a name?
Yes.
And what room did you work in, or do you work in?
Currently, right now, I work in the Sweet Pea classroom. When I first started there, I worked in the Orange classroom.
And I'm going to draw your attention to the fall of 2022, September, into January of 2023. Were you in the Sweet Pea room then?
Yes.
And how many people teachers would be in the Sweet Pea room with you?
I was the only teacher in that room.
Was it a full day program for you in the Sweet Pea room?
Yes.
And were there some kids of that age group, the 4 and 5-year-olds, that would only be there in your Sweet Pea room in the afternoon?
Yes.
Those kids, where would they usually be in the morning?
In the Sunflower class.
And fair to say, the Sunflower class was more academic curriculum based, and the Sweet Pea room was not in the afternoon.
No. Oh, in the afternoon, yes.
So tell us a little bit about what afternoons would be like.
Basically, they would go outside to play. They would be playing in the room. They would take rest time, and then they would get up, have an afternoon snack, and then if it was time permitting, they would be able to play in the classroom or color, do artwork.
And generally the afternoon kids in the Sweet Pea room, they'd go until 4, right?
Yes.
And that was the time for pickup for most of the kids?
Yes, that's when we close at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Did you know Cora Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And how did you know her?
I was Cora's teacher when I first started at Learning Sprouts when she was 3, and then she came into my classroom in the afternoons from September to January.
So from September of 2022, when she's still 4, into January of 2023, after she had turned 5, she would come 3 afternoons into your classroom?
It was first 3, then it switched to 4 afternoons.
Now, when she would come to your classroom in the afternoon, what would she be coming into? Is it snack time, nap time, rest time?
Usually it would be getting ready for rest.
And would she be brought to your classroom by one of the teachers downstairs or at the Sunflower Room?
Yes.
And you're familiar with Susan and Karen as the teachers in the Sunflower Room. Now, how would you describe Cora?
She was a sweet little girl who loved her little brother. She loved to draw, play with babies, play princess. She liked Princess Sophia.
How did you know she liked Princess Sophia?
Because she would pretend to be Princess Sophia, and she always talked about it. And I had actually bought a Princess Sophia puzzle for her.
Now, I'm going to draw your attention to January of 2023, more specifically the 23rd. Did Cora come to your classroom that afternoon?
Yes, she did.
And did you...
This one's going to be the roughest. She's like, this lady is... This one's actually heartbroken. Like, you can really see it on her. She can't do it. Yes. The land of the leering centers. Wrestling... Our Raceland Majere, can you get a recap of the last 8 days? The prosecution's trying to claim that Lindsay Clancy is just evil and not insane, and all they've done to manage showing everything is that she's probably insane. So that's the short of it. It's backfiring on the prosecution. Ann says, where does Lindsay live now? In jail. I think she probably lives in a psychiatric facility, but yeah, she's living in custody.
Observe anything different about her?
She hadn't been feeling well, and the teachers from the Sunflower class had told me that she wasn't feeling that well.
Did you observe that of her as well?
Well, she did nap, and then she, when all the other children were getting up and getting ready to leave, for the day, she was reluctant to get up off her cot and was still there when her mother came to get her.
Did Cora say anything to you why she wasn't feeling well? If she just felt...
I think she just said her tummy hurt.
And so you just kind of let her rest for the afternoon. And so who picked her up that day?
Lindsay.
And so normally in pickup, does a parent come to the classroom to pick up the child?
They usually come to the door and we send the child out.
And that would just be the door of the classroom, not the building?
Because I had a door that...
She's accused of murdering her 3 children, strangling them all. And she admits to doing it.
Led outside.
So on this particular afternoon, Lindsay Clancy came to pick Cora up at the door. And so what, if anything, did you tell Lindsay?
I told her that Cora had napped and she had said she wasn't feeling well, that the other teachers had told me that she hadn't been feeling well and that she was still laying on her cot.
And what did Lindsay say or do after you told her that?
She came into the classroom and picked her up off the cot and said, "Oh, baby, come on, let's go get Dawson and we'll go home."
And so at that moment, when she came to the classroom, she hadn't already picked Dawson up?
No, she went upstairs to pick Dawson up.
And when she came into the classroom and told you that and picked up Cora, did you notice anything different about her than any of the other times you had interacted with her?
No.
In any of the time that you had interacted with Lindsay Clancy from September of 2022 to January 23rd of 2023, did you notice anything different about her?
No, she was just a very loving mother who cared about her children.
And did she share anything with you about her family or about anything that was going on in her household at that time?
No.
And you, as a preschool teacher, are a mandated reporter, correct?
Yes, I am.
So if you were to observe something either on the child or from what the child said or behavior of a parent, you would be required to report that?
Yes, I would.
And as far as the Clancy family went, you didn't notice anything and you didn't report anything, did you?
No.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reddington.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Please step down. Thank you.
Watch your step.
Promo called Andrea Hennigan.
Good morning. Can you start with your like the quick fix?
Wait, just almost ready for this one. Okay, you may have a
So
seat.
please, watch your step, please. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I'm going to ask you to speak into that microphone, keep your voice up so all the jurors can hear you, okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Ms. Spray.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Andrea Hennigan, AndreaHennigan,
And your date of birth?
March 11th, 1976.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse,
And where do you work?
Massachusetts General Hospital,
And do you work at any specific department there?
labor and delivery,
How long have you been a labor and delivery nurse at Mass General?
25 years.
And as part of your training and work in labor and delivery, are you trained in recognizing or helping new mothers who seem to be having issues with postpartum?
Do you mean postpartum depression?
Yes.
I don't have formal training in that area, and I mostly see women before they give birth and immediately afterwards in the first 2 hours after they give birth. If they come back to the hospital during the postpartum period for a concern, we do screen patients for postpartum depression.
And is that all the nurses that work for the Mass General Hospital labor and delivery unit are able to do those screenings for postpartum depression?
Yes, we ask patients questions about if they're suffering from depression or anxiety, and if they have any feelings of wanting to harm themselves or anyone else. That's a standard admission question.
And if these patients respond that, yes, they are having issues with depression, anxiety, or wanting to harm themselves or others, what do you do with those patients? Do you refer them to somewhere, or do you give them materials? What do you do?
Well, we would talk more about their symptoms with them, and then the first step would probably to be alert the provider who's caring for them, either the doctor or the nurse midwife in our setting, and get social work involved.
Now, while you were working at Mass General Hospital, did you work with Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
How long did you work with her?
The whole time she worked on our unit, which I believe was 7 years.
And so when you say our unit, she also worked in labor and delivery with you, is that correct?
Yes.
And in addition to seeing her at work, would you also socialize with her occasionally outside of work?
Occasionally, yes.
Directing your attention to after Ms. Clancy gave birth to Callan, which May of 2022. So after May of 2022, did you reach out to her, talk to her in any way?
Yes, I saw Lindsay twice from when Callan was born until January. I saw her in June and in November, and we would send each other text messages.
When you saw her in June, where was that?
That was at her home. I brought some lunch for her and visited with her and the baby, and Patrick and Dawson were home.
And how was Lindsay's demeanor during that visit?
Very good.
Was she her typical self?
Yes.
And how long was that visit for, approximately?
Maybe 2 hours or something like that.
And you said the next time you saw her was in November of 2022, is that correct?
Correct.
And where was that?
It was a restaurant in Hingham. We met for lunch.
And when you met with her for lunch in November of 2022, did Ms. Clancy talk to you about some issues she was having with sleep and anxiety?
Yes, she did.
What did she tell you about that?
During the lunch specifically, I don't remember her exact symptoms. Our conversation surrounded her upcoming return to work, and Lindsay was feeling that she wasn't in a mental state ready to go and take care of patients. She talked about insomnia and some not feeling herself. I believe she might have used the words like brain fog or something like that.
And while you were having lunch with her and having this discussion, did you ever have any trouble understanding what she was saying?
No.
Did she ever appear to have difficulty understanding what you were saying in response?
No.
Was there anything different about her speech pattern?
Not that I recall.
When you were discussing these issues with Lindsay about having some insomnia and being concerned about going back to work, did you give her any advice or do anything to help?
Yes, it was myself and 2 other nurses that we work with who Lindsay was friends with outside of work, and we were all encouraging her to get the help and support that she needed with medication if needed, and therapists, and giving her any ideas we could think of in our personal and professional lives that may help her.
And did Lindsay tell you that she was looking to find some type of medication that would help her sleep and help her with her anxiety?
Yes, I believe we talked about medication, and she was going to be meeting with a new therapist shortly.
And During this conversation or after it happened, did you ever have any concerns about her harming herself?
No,
Did you ever have any concerns about her harming the children?
no.
Did you give her some names of obstetrics or social workers?
I did. After our lunch, I recall that I reached out to another friend of mine who had had a pregnancy loss that was challenging for her and had met with obstetrical specific social workers and support groups. And I asked that woman, could you share those names? And I sent them to Lindsay.
Okay. Did you have some text messages between yourself and Lindsay around Thanksgiving of 2022 in which she told you about a program she was going to try?
We did have text messages around Thanksgiving. I believe the program you're referring to was something that her mother-in-law had told her about at South Shore Hospital that was more specific to perinatal issues rather than a general social worker, someone who specialized in this area.
What does perinatal mean?
During pregnancy, birth, and after birth.
So this was a program more focused on women either during their pregnancy, while birth, during birth, or right after birth, as far as you know?
I mean, as far as I understood it, I just understood it to mean someone who was familiar more with postpartum depression or anxiety, was my understanding.
Okay. And did you also receive some text messages from Lindsay Clancy right after New Year's on January 2nd, 2023?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell us what that exchange was?
Again, that was with myself and Lindsay and the two other nurses who she had confided in. And we asked her how her holidays were and could we get together again in the new year. And she said, I can't get together right now because I'm involved in an intensive program, but hopefully soon.
Okay. And did she wish you a happy new year?
She may have, I do not recall.
And did she tell you that she was in fact at that time at McLean Hospital, or did she just leave it more vague that it was just an intense program?
I believe it was an intense program. I did not know the name of the facility at that time.
Did you at that time know that she was currently at a hospital?
I don't recall what I knew then versus what I know now.
Did you also speak with Lindsay on January 23rd, 2023?
I did not speak to Lindsay. I sent her a text message on January 23rd.
And what did you say in your text message?
I'm paraphrasing, but I believe I said, hi, I've been thinking of you, wondering if you're still in the daily program, I believe I said. So maybe I didn't realize it was inpatient. And she responded.
And what was her response?
Again, I'm paraphrasing, but she said something like, I'm no longer in the program. I'm continuing to work with my psychiatrists to find the right medication that will allow me to sleep at night, but still function during the day. I've had a lot of bad or negative side effects from the medication, so I've had to come off of them and go on new ones, and it's been very difficult, or has taken a long time, or something like that.
Okay. And after those text messages that were exchanged on the 23rd, did you have any concerns that she was going to harm herself?
No.
The tone of the text messages, were they more positive and hopeful that things were going to work out on the right medications?
I don't know that they were more positive than previous times. I believe that Lindsay was always hopeful that she would get the care that she was seeking. So I don't know that the tone was different that day.
But it wasn't a negative tone. It was that same kind of hopeful tone.
Yes, as far as I remember.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Katrina Reddington.
Morning.
Good morning.
So even during the, say, the difficult times that she had, she was always trying to be hopeful and always tried to have a positive outlook on her health.
That was my impression, yes.
And you obviously are a good friend.
Yes, I believe so.
And you've known her for what, 7 years? 9 years now, right?
Yes, I believe since 2015, if that's when she began working at Mass General.
Right. So she was like a 24-year-old kid when she first started there, right?
Yes.
And you basically knew her right out of nursing school all the way up through
yes.
So she finally had the last baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us, what was her work ethic? Was she a good nurse? Was she a caring nurse? Tell us what your observations were. Granted that you're a friend and you might be biased, but tell us what you thought.
Yes. Lindsay loved being a nurse and was excellent at it. It was a second degree for her to go to nursing school. And you could tell with Lindsay, it was more of a calling that she really cared so deeply, specifically about caring for pregnant women and women giving birth. She was very attentive to all of her patients' needs. She was very smart, and mostly she was incredibly nurturing and caring.
Thank you. And during the period of time in the fall of 2022 up through Thanksgiving of 22 and then into 23, you obviously, as a good friend, stayed in close contact with her, texting, seeing her, dinner, lunches, and everything, right?
Yes.
And then when you and some of the other nurses would go to a lunch, for example,
I mean,
if I understand correctly, on one of the luncheons that you had in the...
She sounds like an amazing person. Sounds like she was doing her thing. I don't know how this witness is supposed to hurt. I don't know how this witness is supposed to hurt.
Fall of 22, she was telling or sharing with you the fact that she was going through a difficult period.
Yes.
Told you that she was not in a good mental state, that she had a lot of insomnia, and she even described it as brain fog, right?
Yes, I believe so. She definitely used those words in our text messages, as the fall progressed, but I believe she used those words during the lunch. She definitely said that she was in a difficult mental place and didn't think she'd be able to go back to work.
And she told you that she was actually actively treating with medical personnel. Did she say a psychiatrist, psychologist, or just seeing doctors, or what did she say?
Yes, she talked about therapists. She talked about going on medication. At some point in that month of November, she said she had even gone to the emergency department.
Did she tell you that she was having negative side effects with the medication that she had been prescribed by these doctors?
She did. She did not elaborate on the side effects, but she did say that multiple times.
So as close as you were for all those years working together, and you guys worked together through the COVID too, right?
Yes.
Is that a bonding experience with nurses?
Yes.
During that period of time, did you ever observe her? Was she a complainer? Like, would she come and complain to you, or was she pretty much private, but would share her opinions of what was happening inside of her?
She was not a complainer about work or home or anything, but we were friends, and she did share more personal details with me.
And when she was working, would you guys be working on the night shift, or would you work in the afternoon? Or
the night shift.
Night shift. Mm-hmm. So did you ever see her go on her phone and access cameras to see what was going on at home with the babies or anything like that?
Yes.
Is that something that she would do on a regular basis, staying in touch with the family and looking at the cameras?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you why she was doing that?
Not specifically.
Okay. She, to your appearance or to your observation, appeared to be very concerned about her kids, right?
Yes.
Did you ever hear her complain that she wanted to leave behind the life that she had and basically move on to something better?
Oh, no. Lindsay, from the time I met her as a young woman, very much desired to be a mother and have a family.
And she did share with you that her mother-in-law actually referred her to somebody for some help as well, correct?
Yes.
In the holiday period, you guys stayed in touch again. You were texting her, and that's when she was, now we know she was in McLean Hospital, but she told you she was in an intensive program, right?
Correct.
In other words, she didn't say, I can't go to lunch with you guys because I'm in a mental hospital. She basically said, I'm treating my problems.
Correct.
To your years of dealing with Lindsay and seeing her with her kids and her family, what's your opinion of her as a mother?
Lindsay was a very loving, caring mother. This is exactly what she wanted to have. She wanted a big family. She was happy to have her children close in age.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, redirect.
Again, she was a good mom. She did everything she could for her kids. She loved her kids. What more are you supposed to do here? Yeah, this sounds like a defense witness. How is this helping to you if you're the prosecutor? There's no way the prosecutor is sitting there going, "Oh, I think we're doing good." If they are idiots. These witnesses are not helping you. These are actually devastating witnesses. So I can't figure out why they're calling this person. This is a defense witness. For some reason, the state wanted to call it. The prosecutor thought, like, oh, she threw that card on the table, and like, that was a good one. That was a scorcher. I don't think so. You guys lost the plot. So. Why are they making it seem like she's crazy? No, they're making it seem like she's purely evil. The defense team is trying to show she's insane. Oh. They're fumbling this big time. I mean, they must have thought, really, like, they're holding 9s and 10s. They're playing euchre with a bunch of 9s and 10s, thinking they can fucking go alone or something. They think they're holding a hot hand, and this is only hot garbage. Timothy Farrell says, Timothy Farrelly, okay, saying, could the state be throwing the case? So you're saying, could the state be throwing the case knowing they have nothing? No. If they have nothing, they shouldn't have prosecuted. Throwing the case is actually disgusting because that means they know they don't have a case and they went ahead and did it anyway, which is a violation of the rule of ethics. They should only prosecute cases they know they can support to a probable cause level. It's the bare minimum. But even then, cases they know they can get a conviction on or have a very, very high likelihood of conviction. But this here, at best, is like, and the idea that they're doing this and this is their best effort is actually pretty pathetic. And what they're doing here is disgusting. There's no way they think this case is going well. I can't imagine it. And they should be looking at what can we do to get out of this. They should be looking for a plea, offering something to Lindsay Clancy, because this is not how you prosecute a triple murder. This is not how you do it. Not at all. So, Euchre, are you an Ohioan? Yes, I grew up in Ohio. Euchre is God's card game. No, the prosecutors are saying she planned it out, fully premeditated it, and murdered her kids. So, if they show she's insane, that helped. Yeah, I mean, like, yes, this evidence shows she's insane, but the prosecutors think she's faking it.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Bethany DeCalvis.
I mean, there's easier ways to fire people. You're in a prosecutor's office, you generally don't have civil, like if you were an actual like prosecutor, for the most part, there might be exceptions to this rule, especially if you're doing like civil work or maybe if you're in a children's services setting. If you are a prosecutor and you do criminal work and you are like the main district attorney, state's attorney's office, whatever, you generally serve at the leisure of your elected or appointed office head. So, for example, when I worked in the two offices I worked in, I served at the leisure of the elected prosecutor. If he wanted to fire me, all he has to say is get out. Now he couldn't fire me for an illegal reason, but he could come in one day and say, Sean, yeah, just not feeling it. Pack your shit and go. You could do that. If you want to fire these two, you could fire them. I doubt there's anything protecting them. So you wouldn't want to tank the, tanking the case hurts your image anyway. So no, you wouldn't want to do this. You really wouldn't want to do this. So.
Good morning, ma'am. Stop right there and raise your right hand for 30 minutes.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give is true the matter now please to the Commonwealth and especially beginning and have a seat.
Watch your step, please.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Counsel.
Thank you. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Bethany DeColibus, BETHANY,
And your date of birth?
6/29/89.
What do you do for work?
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist.
And do you have your own practice?
I do have a private practice.
How long have you been in this line of work?
I've had the private practice for about 6 years, but I've been licensed for close to 12.
And in your practice, do you do in-person therapy or telehealth therapy?
I do telehealth therapy right now.
Do you know Lindsay Clancy?
I do.
How do you know her?
We were friends, met as new moms in the same town.
Would that be Duxbury?
Yes.
And how often would you see her?
I'd say probably weekly.
And where would that occur?
Our kids were involved in similar activities, music classes, gymnastics classes. We'd schedule play dates.
What was her typical demeanor?
She was active, engaged, friendly.
Did you ever notice any distinctive changes in her rate of speech or the way she spoke?
No.
Did you ever see any extreme changes in energy or weird behavior?
No changes in weird behavior, but I did notice that she appeared more tired.
I'm sorry to do it.
Could you repeat that?
You could state that again.
Oh, I was answering the second part of your question. I didn't notice any changes in behavior, but I did notice her appearing more tired over time.
And was that after she had Callan or before that?
Afterwards.
And how often would you see her after she had Callan?
Weekly.
So still going to the same types of places where you would run into her and engage with her. Is that correct?
Yes.
And other than seeming more tired, was there any other change in her demeanor or personality or behavior?
No.
Did she tell you during that time that she was having trouble sleeping?
Yes.
And did she give you any specifics on that?
Just that it was very difficult to get sleep, difficult to fall asleep even when kids were asleep, and it was an ongoing struggle.
Did that cause concern for you at that point?
I think for a period of time, it felt normal, but after it seemed to continue and not let up for her, I definitely worried about her and was concerned.
When you say it seemed normal, what do you mean by that at first?
I would say for a period of time seemed reminiscent of, sleep struggles that, I remember having and that, remember friends talking about. But I think over time, I started to worry more and realized that it wasn't improving for her.
And what you're talking about, is it, typically after having a baby, new moms are tired from, late night feedings and changings and all of that?
Yes.
And then with Lindsay, she stayed tired?
Yes.
Okay. Did she talk to you about seeking out help from doctors?
She did.
And did she talk to you about seeking out medication to help?
Yes.
And do you recall any specifics about those conversations, about what types of doctors or what types of medication she was seeking?
I don't know about the different types of doctors or the types of medications.
Did you ever talk to her and she relayed that she was looking to find a therapist?
Yes.
And do you know if she ever found a therapist?
At some point, it did sound like she had found a provider to work with.
Being a therapist yourself, did you ever offer to give some referrals or anything like that? Or did she ask for any?
I can't remember.
And you said that she continued to appear tired, correct?
Yes.
But other than appearing tired, as the weeks went by, did you observe her having any problem interacting with people or doing the typical behaviors that you would do at the events you would usually see her at?
No.
Did she appear to have any trouble doing day-to-day tasks or interacting with anyone?
Not that I saw.
Did she ever tell you that she was depressed or suicidal?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she had thoughts of harming anyone else?
No.
Did her physical appearance change in any way?
Not that I noticed.
When you would engage with her, have conversations with her, were they usually in person or text or both?
It was a mix of both.
And did you ever have trouble understanding her, either in person or in a text?
No.
Did she ever appear to have trouble understanding you?
No.
At some point in time, did you have dinner with Lindsay and a woman named Erin Renault sometime in November?
Yes.
And was that something that the three of you typically did?
Yes.
How often would you do that?
Probably once every couple of months.
Was this the first time you'd done that since Callan was born?
I can't remember.
Okay. And what was Lindsay's demeanor during that dinner?
She was engaged in conversation with us.
Do you recall saying previously that she seemed normal?
No.
You don't recall saying that?
Not specifically, no.
What about her speech pattern? Was there anything different about her speech pattern?
No.
What did you guys talk about during that dinner?
I remember catching up as we usually did, giving each other updates on, what our kids had been up to, what our families had been up to. And I also made it a point to check in with her about how her sleep was and how she'd been feeling lately.
And did she give you responses to those questions?
She did.
Did they make sense?
The responses made sense.
Yeah. What was the tone of this conversation?
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Well, when you're asking her about how things are going with her sleep and other things, and she's responding, does she seem negative and depressed about things? Does she seem hopeful about things? Like, what's the tone?
It was a serious conversation. I was concerned and wanted to check in. It had sounded like she had been able to connect with some providers, and I would say at that point, I remember her expressing feeling hopeful about the possibility that things could start to get better.
And during this conversation at dinner, did she ever mention that she had suicidal thoughts?
No.
Did she ever mention that she had homicidal thoughts?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was hearing voices?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was having intrusive thoughts of her own?
No.
At any point in time while you're engaging with her, did it look like she was responding to something internally, like a voice, or seeing something that wasn't there?
No.
other than having an issue with sleep, did she mention any other issues that she was having?
She mentioned feeling anxious.
And after this dinner, did you next see her at Cora's birthday party in January?
Yes.
And at that birthday party, did you see her interacting with other people and parents and children, as a mom would usually do at a birthday party?
Yes.
Did you interact with her yourself?
I did.
Did you notice anything different about her demeanor or her behavior at that party?
No.
Did you have a conversation with her briefly about sleep?
I did.
And was it you basically asking how the sleep issue was going?
Yes.
And what was her response?
She responded that things haven't gotten any better and that she feels like a zombie.
Was there anything about her appearance or the way she was interacting or behaving that when you saw her, you thought she looked like a zombie?
She seemed tired.
But there's a difference between being tired and looking like a zombie, right?
She didn't look like a zombie, no.
And she was able to engage with you and the other parents there engage with.
In your head. But no, really though, she knows Lindsay Clancy. She's a zombie. So it sounds like she's taking her medicine. Oh, she sounds like a zombie. Oh, so it sounds like she's on her pills. The pills you claim she wasn't taking already. But the pills she tested positive for in her toxicology report. And now that one of her best friends is saying she acted like she was all pilled out of her mind. What type of case are these people presenting? I don't understand anymore. I really don't understand where the prosecutor's going here. This is just a disaster. Absolute disaster. Oh, hold on here. What are you you guys are saying? Were you guys oh yeah, WL guys is Westlaw. They don't do trials. I mean, to be fair, I doubt it's Plymouth County is Plymouth County in Massachusetts. It's got how many people here? Well, it's got 500,000 people. That's a pretty big county. You'd think they should have some prosecutors who do I'm assuming that there are people who get killed or shot or there's some drugs and a bit of gang violence. You'd think they can handle this, but this is not impressive. These are people who plead and can't try. I mean, there are some prosecutors who are like that, but most prosecutors, I mean, you can stumble your way through a case because usually the defendant has incriminated themselves enough. So, yeah, there are times where if you are a prosecutor and you are known for being afraid to go to trial, and there are some prosecutors who do get that, if you get that rap, if you get the rap of you're afraid to go to if you're afraid to take it to the, take it to the box, word gets out. And the word gets out, you could push and harass. Also, word gets out if you hear there's inter-office strife and there's disorder. You push, and everybody goes to trial when that starts happening. If there's a shakeup in the office, all the defense attorneys start pushing for trial. If something happens, you push for everything. Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah, this is a pretty pointless prosecution, though. I just don't understand what they're doing here. 2 reported cases, 1 each. I mean, to be fair, though, most trials aren't going to get reported. I mean, there might be appeals, but not everything gets appealed. So I bet these guys have taken stuff to verdict. If they didn't, then this DA needs to be fired. But no, I have a feeling they've taken stuff. I mean, because there's stuff I took to trial that you probably can't find on Westlaw. So let's see here. In criminal court, everything gets appealed. Not everything. Not all the time. I've had clients who are like, what happens if I appeal? I'm like, nothing's going to happen. The case is, you pled, so don't appeal. Or, I'm like, hey, man, you can, but you're probably not going to win. And they don't. I tell them what's honestly, and they're just like, that, fuck it. I'll deal with it later. So anyways, here we go. Okay, it's Lindsay testifies she's gonna have a really hard time. Is that handicap accessible up there? So I'm just saying. Like, I agree though, Barry. Overall, I agree. I almost 99% with you on this. I have the feeling these guys have done some stuff. This can't be. Public defenders assigned counsel lots of appeals. Oh yeah, no, 100% there are. I can't believe for these two women on the prosecution team, this is their first time going over the top. Like that, this is the first time they've sat there and blew a whistle and stormed out of the trenches to go fight. Because that's a thing you have to get used to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like down here, at some point, God willing, I pass the bar. Don't want to tempt fate here, but like the first time I have a trial down here, it's going to be, this is a whole different world. I'm fighting on a different front. It's like you go from the Western Front to the Azanzo River Valley. It's a whole different game. And then like the first time coming out of the trenches here is going to be different than, fighting in France. So yeah, these guys are not impressive. They're not impressive. Yeah. And they don't do these. No, I get it. I get it. So. Okay. So Reddington a few years ago repped a 19-year-old that ended his dad during a grown-up baptism. So he drowned him? That's interesting. It's like in a Boardwalk Empire. Lost to the boat-wearing prosecutor with only involuntary. Kid got like 4 years. Oh, interesting. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the objection to an objection tells me they don't know it's trial work. Yeah, you can't object to that. Now, I have said that myself, but I say, Your Honor, I would just note for the record their conduct in this statement is out of order and it should be objected to. But you don't go like, I object to your objection. That is a little weird. That was a little weird. Bilson says, I don't understand the state's theory. Did she take the pills and they didn't work? Most likely, or she didn't take them? I don't know. Remember, they think she's faking all of this. We don't know because they're not making it clear. Like I said, they think she was like trying to climb down the side of the house and, fell or something. We don't know what they haven't told us. Like, we're going to have to listen to their closings. I don't understand what the hell they're getting at. And also, I can't imagine they have too many more witnesses left. They're burning through them fast. Fluffy Pink Bunny says, how exciting. Looking forward to you passing the bar and sharing cases. As I said, when I was in Ohio, anything I do, if you guys learn about it through the news or open public sourced material, certainly, that'll be out there, but, I won't comment on anything that I do, just out of, while it's public record, my client didn't choose to have everybody know about what he did. It's like, I do believe that I have a duty of candor and a duty of confidentiality and a duty of minimizing their exposure in the world. So I may talk in generalities, but I won't be able to say, hey, I'm defending Bob Boberson, Now, if you guys see me on the news, it's like, okay, yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. Let's see here. Sean won't share trials. I know, I don't. That I do. I know, if you guys find them, that's like when I was up in Cleveland, if you guys found me out in Conneaut Municipal Court, then you found me, but I will not, I don't disclose. You mean you need to wrap their case into a bow? How dare you, Sean? Oh, I know. Wrestling Major says, if I was on the jury, you'd side with the defense at this point. Well, I always say it like this. Generally speaking, you should always be not guilty until the state convinces you. And there was some information at the beginning that kind of pushed me over there. But I was still generally thinking like she sounds crazy. The whole thing sounds crazy. And every little thing that's happened has really just made it more clear that she's crazy. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is the only consistent thing is, once again, they have 3 dead children, but that might be enough. A jury might say, we don't think she was crazy and think it's enough. Don't steal Runkle's client. Yes. Yes. Also, by the way, guys, if you get the chance, tell Runkle, congratulate him. He's been able to make a big career change for himself. He's going to be able to do a lot of pro bono and, work that is more of what his focus and he, kind of really believes in. So if you get the chance, tell Runkle congrats on that, because I know he seems very happy about that. So get the chance, make sure you tell Ian Runkle at Runkle the Bailey that. Congratulations. So, and that's the thing here, Cass. You're right. To me, it's relevant. She killed 3 kids. I don't care where she's locked up. Jury may think that. Jury may 100% think that. And we're going to have to see. But that's not an irrational. They could convict her and I could say, okay, that makes sense. I don't think she should have been presented, but she could be convicted and I can't say it's wrong. Clearly wrong.
With her children and the other children, correct?
She was.
And do you recall stating previously that at the party she seemed fine?
And no, not specifically.
Page 11.
Have you look at page 11 and bottom line 24, and then to the top of page 12. Does that refresh your memory as to a conversation you had with the police back in 2023 where you said that she seemed fine at the party?
Sure. Yeah.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
Strengthened. So, Money. Fair to say that you were obviously pretty good friends with Lindsay?
Yes.
And fair to say that in that regard, you had occasion to observe objectively things like she looked tired, she was complaining that she was tired,
yes.
Said that she was anxious,
yes.
Told you that at one point towards the end of time frame into January that she felt like a zombie, correct?
Yes.
Did you ask her any questions like the district attorney was asking you? Did you ask her, well, what are your symptoms and what do you feel like? And what do you is there anything that you can tell me about how you feel? Did you probe in that regard?
I don't remember probing about specific symptoms, no.
So in other words, you're friends and you and Erin and Lindsay were out to dinner or lunch and you're trying to have a good time, right?
Yes.
How was she as a mother to your observations? Did she, as far as taking care of her kids, being happy with the kids, did she not like her kids? What were your observations?
She loved her kids. She was warm, kind, consistent, loving.
And you actually were summoned to be here today by the district attorney's office, correct?
I was.
And you actually were interviewed by the state police.
Literally just pointing out, you're not our witness. The prosecutor called you. The state police interviewed you. They knew all this. They knew she was gonna say all this. And if they didn't ask her, shame on them. They knew she was gonna say all this, and they still put her on the stand.
That's what she was questioning you about, page 11 and page 12. It was a recorded interview and things of that nature, right?
Yes.
Would you agree with me that although she may not have been telling you that she was seeing something that wasn't there, or hearing voices or drooling or acting in some unusual fashion while you guys were out having lunch, she did express to you that she was having some difficulties, correct?
She expressed that she was having difficulty, yes.
And would you say, knowing Lindsay as you did, that she was a type that was not really a complainer? She would not try to be a downer when you're out to lunch and having a good time with your friends and complain about her symptoms?
No.
But she did tell you that she was somewhat hopeful because she was seeing healthcare providers?
Yes.
And one of the things that they had asked you about, fair to say that when you talked to the police, you told them that you had spent a lot of time chatting about over this period of time that she had been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and that she referenced the postpartum period, right?
Yes.
These prosecutors are fucking clown shoes. Holy Jesus Christ.
And when you were talking to the police, the troopers, did they try to divert you? Did you feel that they were trying to get what your observations were, or did they want you to focus on their questions when they were questioning you?
Could you repeat that?
No, it's a bad question. It's a bad question. I'm sorry. But nevertheless, you actually told them that you had been in touch with her. You'd been to the house, right?
I had been in touch with her, yes.
Yeah, and you knew Patrick.
Yes.
Other than socializing with your friends and with Erin and going out to lunches, you guys would also text, correct?
Yes.
And that's a way of keeping touch with each other.
Yes.
And she would respond to your inquiries about fun things and about kids, right?
Yes.
But also, on occasion, you were concerned about her and you'd ask her how she's doing, right?
Yes.
And when you would ask her those things, she would tell you, for example, that she didn't know what medications were doing to her, but she in fact mentioned to you that the medications did not appear as though they were helping and she still wasn't able to get any sleep.
Correct.
And further, in the statements that you gave to the police when they were asking you questions about your observations, she did indicate on a couple of occasions that she had obtained a therapist and a prescriber, and she would reference her relationship with Pat and tell you that Pat's great, things like that, right?
Yes.
You said yes, I'm sorry, the door
Yes.
closed. So in those occasions, did she ever complain about Pat, or they seem to be getting along pretty good?
They seem to be getting along great.
Was he supportive to your observations of her?
Yes.
Then when you went out to the other dinner, did you indicate to the police that in that conversation that her mother knows everything, or she told you my mom knows everything, and she's working it out as far as the therapist and the drugs, correct?
Yes.
And you still felt it was readily apparent that she was struggling, right?
Yes.
Still having difficulty sleeping and being anxious, right?
Yes.
And as a friend, you were concerned, right?
I was concerned, yes.
Now, one of the questions the DA had asked you is that she was supposed to go back to work, and that she indicated that she had canceled that date to go back to work because she still wasn't sleeping well. Is that right?
She had, yes.
And those were her words, that she canceled going back to work because she still wasn't sleeping well.
Yes.
Did she ever talk to you about work? Did she seem to like her job as a labor and delivery nurse?
She loved it, as far as I knew.
And then you were at Cora's birthday party in January, is that correct?
Yes.
And that was the one that was at the trampoline park, right?
Yes.
And it was that time, and that would have been in January of 23, I believe, that it was in that time that you were concerned and you said, hey, are you getting any sleep? And she was like, no, I feel like a zombie is what her words were, correct?
Yes.
Was that the last time you saw her?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me step down. Counsel, why don't we take a brief recess at this time? So we're going to take the morning recess at this point.
Court, all rise, please. Jurors, go vote. Okay.
Once again, Chad, I don't see how. How do we what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Also, guys, if you guys are new, we are going to, at about 9:15, we're going to pause this so I can get ready for the 9:30 show. Because guys, remember, it's Thursday night, so I used to do my Thursday night show at 9:30 Eastern. Got to talk about, got a bunch of interesting cases out there. We're going to talk about the big NFA case out of Texas and why. I know everybody's acting like this is the biggest thing in the world. It's like, I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see. And then from there, we'll be back to this trial after the 9:30 show. So we'll do a part 2 in a little bit. So we got about 25 more minutes of this. So let's see how far we can get. Thank you guys all for being here in the meantime, though. Let's skip over. Oh, they're working. Here we go. It went.
You stop right there. Raise your right hand to the clerk, please.
No, we don't know. I wish we knew, but we don't know.
Watch your step, please.
Bless you.
All right, good afternoon. Let me ask you to speak into that microphone. Keep your voice up if you could, okay? Okay. All right. Tree spray.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Amy Bevins, AMYBEVINS.
And your date of birth?
8/22/90.
Do you live in Connecticut?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
I'm a licensed behavior analyst, but I specialize primarily in early intervention for young children with autism.
If you could just keep your voice up a little bit, maybe come a little forward to the mic. How long have you been doing that?
6 years. I was a special education teacher before that for a long time as well.
Do you know Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
How do you know her?
We have been friends for almost 29 years.
So you met her when you were children?
Yes.
Did you go to school together?
Elementary school.
And after that?
All the way up through middle school and high school as well.
Okay. And did you keep in touch with Lindsay when you went off to college?
Yes.
I'm assuming you didn't go to the same college, right?
No.
Do you know where Lindsay went?
Quinnipiac University.
And how did you keep in touch?
Through texts, phone calls. We visited each other at each other's campuses.
And then when Lindsay went to nursing school, did you still stay in touch at that point in time?
Yes.
And how did you do that? The same way, like text visits?
Yes. I also lived in Boston at the same time that she was in nursing school up in Boston.
So was your contact more frequent while she was in nursing school versus when she was in college?
I can't remember the exact amount of contact, but I would say we were always in contact together, yes.
Okay. While Ms. Clancy was in nursing school, did she ever tell you that she was taking some mental health medication?
I can't recall.
Did she ever tell you that she was struggling with anxiety or anything like that while in nursing school?
Nothing that I can recall.
And after she was finished with nursing school, did the two of you still remain in touch?
Yes.
And how often would you see her?
I moved back home to Connecticut, so whenever she was able to visit home, we would stay in touch. I traveled to Boston, not very frequently, but I would visit her there as well.
And did you have a text chain going between the two of you?
Yes.
And did you also have a group text with other friends from Connecticut that you both grew up with that you would participate in?
Yes.
And how often would you text with Lindsay?
Pretty frequently. It depended on, I think, the point in life that we were at, but I would say there was regular communication.
And growing up with Lindsay and knowing her into adulthood, how would you describe her general demeanor?
She was pretty a calm person. She was nice and had a very calm approach to herself.
And during that time that you knew her and would interact with her, did you ever notice any changes in her pattern of speech or rate of speech?
No.
Was she pretty consistent in her behavior and speech patterns throughout the years that you knew her?
Yes.
After Ms. Clancy had Cora, were you still in contact with her at that time?
Yes.
And just to kind of get it out of the way, were you in contact with her all the way up through January of 2023?
Yes.
And so after she had Cora, did you notice any changes in her demeanor?
No.
Did you notice any changes in her behavior?
No.
Did you notice any changes in her speech patterns?
No.
After she had Dawson, did she talk to you about that delivery and how that went?
Yes.
And what did she tell you about that?
That was more of a difficult delivery than the one she had with Cora, that she would maybe need to take some time to recover prior to thinking about having a third child.
And during that time, after she had Dawson, did you notice any changes in her behavior?
No.
Or her demeanor?
No.
Her speech pattern?
No.
Was there anything about your interactions with Lindsay during that time that caused you to have concern about her harming herself or someone else?
No.
And then after she gave birth to Callan, did you notice a change in her demeanor at that time?
No.
Or her behavior or rate of speech?
No.
Did you see her in Connecticut in November of 2022?
Yes.
And why did you see her then? What was happening?
She had traveled down to Connecticut. We had gotten together as a group to go out to breakfast.
And had she come to Connecticut alone or with her family?
Alone, I believe, at that time.
And you said you went out to breakfast?
Yes.
Was this with that whole group of friends and spouses and everyone that kept in contact from Connecticut?
Yes, there was a group of us there that had all remained friends.
Did you notice anything about her demeanor or behavior at that breakfast in November of 2022 that caused you concern or was different than her typical behavior?
No.
Did you have some text conversations in January of 2023 about some issues that Lindsay was having?
Yes.
And do you recall when those messages started?
I don't recall the exact date of the messages, but it was only, I believe, one night.
And in terms of what happened on January 24th, 2023, how close in time was it to that?
Can you repeat the question?
So in terms of January 24th, 2023, when the children were killed, how close in time were your text messages to that incident?
Only a few days.
Okay. And what was that text conversation?
She had shared that she had been taking a medication that caused her to have some dark thoughts, but that she was going to, or had been tapering off that medication and was trialing new ones that would remove those side effects and be more helpful and therapeutic to what she needed.
And did she tell you what those dark thoughts were?
No.
What was the tone of the conversation?
Hopeful, I would categorize it. I remember it being something where there was conveying of hope, and then it was going to be we were moving in a positive direction.
So basically, would it be fair to say that Lindsay was telling you that she'd had some side effects and some dark thoughts because of medication, but was weaning off of those and moving on to something else that would hopefully help her?
Yes.
Did she ever express at any point that she wanted to harm herself?
No.
Did she ever express that she wanted to harm the children?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she was hearing voices?
No.
Other than saying that she had had some bad thoughts, did she say anything else that was concerning in that conversation?
No.
I want to direct your attention to March of 2023. Did you visit Miss Clancy while she was at the Spalding Rehabilitation Facility?
Yes.
And how was that arranged?
At the request of one of her family members who reached out to see if I would like to come visit.
And you traveled to Massachusetts and visited Lindsay at the Spalding Rehab Center, is that right?
Yes.
And what did you do there with Lindsay that day?
We made small talk. We played Uno. It was a pretty basic visit.
When you say you made small talk, what did she talk about?
I remember her asking about my daughter. I remember her asking about any updates to life events for our friends. We talked about some hobbies that she was doing while at Spalding, and then played a game.
Do you remember what hobbies she was doing at Spalding?
I can't recall specifically now.
At any point in time, did she mention the death of her children?
No.
At any point in time, did she break down in tears and cry about her children?
No.
What was her affect during that meeting?
I don't remember exactly. Pretty neutral, I would say.
Did she attempt at any point to harm herself?
No.
Did she ask you for help in harming herself?
No.
Did she talk about Cora Dawson or Callan at all?
No.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. Reddington.
Afternoon. You're nervous. Don't be. Okay. You guys go back how far?
Almost 29 years.
And over those 29 years, knowing Lindsay when you guys were in grammar school, I guess, in high school, and you went off to college and you had your families and your marriages.
And did anybody have their mind changed that Lindsay Clancy did this? Yeah. I just don't get it.
Tell us what your opinion was of her as a person.
I knew her as a good person, a good friend, a good mom.
And you had occasion to see her with her kids and how she acted with her kids, Cora, up till Callan.
Yes.
And did you ever observe anything out of the ordinary, or did she appear to be a loving person and taking care of her kids?
I never saw anything out of the ordinary.
District Attorney asked you about the visit that you had when you were good enough to visit with her at Spalding Rehab. And this was when, in March of 23?
Yes.
And arrangements had to be made for you to visit with her. You had to get approval, and whether you know or not, I mean, I had to kind of help you out a little bit trying to get through the red tape to get in there to see her, along with her family approval and that type of thing, right?
I don't recall any of that.
But you were able to get in.
Yes.
To visit with her. And this would have been in the beginning of March, if you know, the middle of March, the end?
I don't recall the exact time.
Was she able to walk around and ambulate, or was she in a wheelchair, or what was her condition? Was she in bed?
She was in a wheelchair. She was sitting up the entire visit.
Did you ask her about why she was in the wheelchair and anything like that?
No.
You knew that she had been in the hospital from January 24th, right?
Yes.
And you knew that your friend had been charged by the police and had killed her 3 beautiful children, right?
Yes.
That was a bit of an awkward, uncomfortable topic, wasn't it?
I think it would be for anybody, yes.
Absolutely. And the district attorney asked you whether or not she cried and whether or not she told you about her children and anything to do with her children or that incident. You both basically stayed away from that entire subject, right?
I remember also being told not to bring that up specifically, which at the time I figured that could be due to the recommendation of mental health providers, et cetera, who were treating her.
Right. And who told you that?
Her sister.
Now, how long did you visit with her?
It was maybe 30 to 45 minutes.
That's all I have. All right, wait a minute. Did you guys have a group get together in December of 2022, if you recall?
I don't recall.
Do you recall seeing her after Thanksgiving around that time frame in December of 22?
I don't recall doing, no.
Do you recall having conversations with her around that time frame, which would be in December of 2022, that she was talking to you about medications and asking you questions about a particular medication?
I don't recall the exact time frame of those conversations.
Okay. You were summoned here today by the DA's office, is that correct?
Yes.
You were also on my witness list as well, right?
Yes.
And when I ask you about the conversations, the reason is you were questioned by the state police back in January of 23. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And one of the troopers had asked you whether or not you had any conversations with Lindsay, your friend, about medications. And you indicated that, and I quote, page 12, she knows that I'm pretty open about mental health, that I'm a big advocate of mental health. And she asked me if I knew, like, if I had tried a medication. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Does that refresh your memory at all as to approximately what time, when that was? Would that have been in December of 22, after Thanksgiving?
I don't know. I still don't recall the exact time, but I do remember that being a conversation that we had.
Okay. Do you remember where you had the conversation?
It was over text message.
Okay. Do you recall her asking you what your experience was? Because you had some knowledge of medications, correct?
As a patient.
Okay. And as a result of that and being close and good friends, that she had asked you what your experience was. And again, it's page 13. And she would say, how was your experience? Did you ever take this? What was your experience with this? That type of thing. Do you remember that? That conversation?
I don't recall the specific conversation.
Do you recall the medication that she asked you about?
Yes.
What was that?
I remember it being Lexapro.
Do you recall in your text message exchange that she had asked you about or told you about some of the medications that she was taking and that there were some difficulties with it?
Yes.
Do you remember that she had asked you whether or not you had noted or if you were aware of any side effects of medications?
I don't recall.
And after those text threads and with that understanding, being as close to Lindsay as you were, she then confided in you that she was having dark thoughts, as I think was the expression?
That was a long time after the conversation that we had had about the medication. I do remember that being the first time I had heard any concern around her mental health up until that point.
Okay, and what point was that, if you remember?
Can you restate the question?
Sure. Let me ask it this way. When she told you that she was having problems or difficulties with the medication and when she was telling you that she was having dark thoughts, do you remember when that was?
Towards the end of January 2023.
Okay. Do you remember, was that in person or was that a message, text message?
Over text message.
Did she explicate it? Did she explain what the dark thoughts were?
No.
And the next time you saw her after that was at the hospital rehab, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all I have.
Counsel? All right, thank you, man. Let me step down.
That was super helpful to Lindsay. Super, super helpful. This is another defense witness. This was another defense witness. Also, I think they spelled Lindsay wrong. Yeah. Linsday. Lindsay. This is a defense witness. I don't know why the state called her. Completely stupid.
Commonwealth calls Christopher Clancy.
All right, chat. We're actually in a good spot to wrap up. We're gonna wrap it up here for now. Yeah, this witness on the defense list too. But if that's the case, then let them bring her up, and then you can bash her apart on fucking Cross. You're her friend. You really like her, right? You have an interest in seeing her, like not go away and all this crap. But calling it out ahead of time, this isn't one of those ones where you have to draw the sting out. Prosecutors suck, man. Guys are awful. They're awful. Yeah, she had no illicit substances in her blood. Only the drugs that she had. So we're going to leave this here, guys. We are going to head over. I'm going to direct you over to the YouTube for the Thursday night show. We're going to come back to this one. No locals tonight, but we are going to do this here. This whole trial is very unnecessary. Oh, yeah. Aaron says keep going. It gets so much better. Well, we have to get through the 9:30 show. And we're gonna motor on through that. So, we're gonna motor on through that. So here we go. Make sure you guys are all set to go over there. And yeah, thank you guys for all hanging out. And I will see you guys shortly over on the main show. And where is? Oh, come on here. Why is this not working? You know, it doesn't go fast. It's so slow. And we will redirect. Save. All right, guys. So with that said, I will see you guys in a little bit. And just remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. And still, Lindsay Clancy, not guilty by reason of insanity. They are not. This is not how you secure a murder conviction. I can tell you that much. So anyways, good night, chat. And I will see you guys probably in about 20 minutes.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy that Kaden yelled at? Why, yes it was, he even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go, here on Sean Martin's Potential